Everybody, welcome to the new show, Real Talk with Andy and Jody. Look at that. Oh, look how nice. Did you see how nice that looked? Sorry, I know I was delayed, but at least you got the debut. So happy to be with my man, Jody. What's up, Jody?
YouTube was good. It's your boy, Jody Joe. Welcome to Real Talk with Andy and Jody. Yeah,
that's what we're at.
Let's go.
So, yeah, rebranding this to what this show has become, which is just Real Talk, which is what you've helped me get to. So cheers to Jody's Corner Popcorn Planet collab, where we're getting real with you guys. And somebody can help me. I got to work on that audio, but we're going to make that intro. Look at that. I like it. Boom. I need some explosion sounds. Need to work on the sound layer, but it's there. Anytime it gets super... Anytime it gets real in here, that I can pop that logo up. It even looks better. So welcome, everybody, to the show. So happy to be here. We got lots to talk about. We're going to be hanging with you guys. But let's talk to this main event. Each show, I want to have like at least one main topic where we're going to get real with you about. We're going to have many real topics. I want to do something else I'm going to do tonight. I want to talk about, with the presidential pardons on their way tonight, tomorrow, who knows? What movie characters would you pardon? What villains or even characters from movies would you give a pardon to? Who deserves a second chance? We're going to talk about that. You guys can pitch them along the way. Also, some other news that's happening. But let's get to this main topic, which is Zack Snyder fans.
Oh, boy.
Now, Jody, I got to update you because I had an interesting night last night, and I've been paying attention to some people online. And let's talk about it because what I'm seeing out there, I'm seeing some Zack Snyder fans finally seeing the danger of the Snyder cult extremists and how this is not helping Zack, how it's not helping anybody, and how it's actually sending the whole Snyder cut, it's seemingly down the drain because these extremist a-holes have always been taking it too far, and it's left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And so I'm seeing people out there finally, look at Jody's like he's got it. People are finally starting to notice it. So I want to talk about this tonight. I want to talk about what happened yesterday. I want to give any attention to these people directly, just because a lot of these people, Jody, I got to be honest, have been haters of ours because we have different viewpoints. But let's start. Let's start back. So here's
one of the haters.
I went on a hater stream last night. I did. Someone who doesn't like me.
Oh, shoot.
But we broke some bread and we agreed on something, Jody. So I got to say that's a good thing.
I don't want to know. Don't tell me I don't want to know.
Okay, so but here's where I want to start. Okay, so here's where I want to start this conversation because there's a lot to talk about and I want to get your guys' thoughts here. But it was a tweet I put out a few days ago, actually end of last week, which I do have here. So I put this out and warning. I blurred it on the thumbnail, but I'm going to do it here again. I mean, it's illustrated. I don't know. It's a
cartoon. It should be safe.
It's a cartoon, but I hope YouTube doesn't do it. But I don't find this okay. And so I put this out there because I do think more people need to stand up and condemn this. Now, I'm told this artist isn't a Snyder fan. That's the biggest argument I've gotten back of defense mode from Snyder fans. Like, he's not even a fan, this guy. He hates Snyder. Whatever, man. This kind of stuff that goes out there and the chats that were happening on this Instagram's account, this should happen. I mean, look at this, Jody. This is horrific. That is Walter Hamada, Jeff Johns, and Toby Emmerich. Now, look, I get what he's trying to, and I don't want to cut to this too long because it is what it is. It's gross to me. I get what they're symbolizing, right? It's the shot that Zack Snyder put out there with the original shot of Wonder Woman, his vision when she's holding all the heads back in a time with that she's slaying barbarians. But for this, like, come out with these three people who are alive and who are clearly in their own sort of back and forth of defending their own, did this happen? Some people choose to believe Ray. Some people are choosing to believe them. We've made our own decisions based on what the evidence we've given, etc. But this idea of having fans out there showing Wonder Woman decapitating these men in the honor of what we're doing, it's too far. It's too far, and I'm not saying is this Ray and Zach's fault, right? That's look, you can't be punished for your worst fans unless you say nothing and ignore them for the past year. And that's the reality. It's like, look, I don't want to blame them. We shouldn't have to blame them. I understand. Everyone's got toxic fans in their thing, but you got to stand up at a certain point and try to calm the waters and to try to rally the real fans, the genuine fans who aren't psychos, to call this stuff out and block it and make sure it's not involved. But Jody, I went and I had a conversation about this one. So it's important. I want to share because I am going to call one of these people out, and I've done it on Twitter. I'm going to do it again here. And this person has tripled down on it. But I had a fan who sent me this chat. This isn't my DM that I'm sharing, Jody, so I don't share DMs, but unless I really got to defend myself, some is lying.
Yeah,
but
so
this guy was on our channel. This guy was on our channel, Jody. And you remember, this guy was as toxic as they get. This guy came on.
He wished Bud Light on me. He said, "Watch out before you get that Bud Light." He wished it on me. He wished death upon me. So yeah, absolutely.
He's been out there just saying completely untrue, awful things at me because he goaded me. He goaded me on a stream. He lied. He spread lies on our stream, and then he came to try and get us on my own stream. And I humored him. I had him on. I always try to hear people out. But this guy was such a toxic bully, just trying to get his own way to make his own name for himself. And the reality is, he's out there. I don't see what's vile about this. Here's what when a fan put this out and said, "This is disgusting. Report it. This is effing vile." Here he is, just sort of, I don't see what's not. And kudos to this fan. I'm not going to call out. I think you're in the minority. Had someone did that with Ray's head, you wouldn't be saying that. I can assure you, facts. He wouldn't have. And so, look, I call this guy out because
that's exactly what the cult is. You see that type of trash, you're okay with showing the beheadings of actual humans by Wonder Woman. And if you look at the comment in there, they threw Patty in there. They said Patty's head should have been one of the heads in there. Like, this fandom is trash, bro. That's exactly why I left. I'll come back when it gets better, because this fandom is toxic. It's divided more than ever, and it just absolutely sucks. And it's sad being a DC fan right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to find more, but I don't want to actually pile on and do it. Look, this Lightcast guy, I didn't want to talk about him ever again, but I got to call out when I see toxicity, and that is the cult. When someone out there is so trying to honor Zack and Ray to a point where they are, there's nothing vile about it. I mean, you're delusional to see that there's nothing vile about it. We can argue about free speech and the art, okay, but he's tripled down in his backup of, I don't see what the problem with this is. This is good art, et cetera, et cetera. And that, I don't think anyone in that fandom, if you're gonna ignore it, at least don't go out there and fan it and say there's no problem with it. To me, that is the problem here, Jody. I mean, it really bothers me because you got. I've been doxxed. People have come after your relatives, your family, like it's like, it's effed up how violent it is. And so let me go back to what happened last night, Jody. Okay. And then we can talk more about this. Cause I don't want to give our haters more attention by naming them and stuff.
I just need to mention that seeing those, I despise John Roca for being a person who wants mass genocide on the homeless. Me being a person who was homeless myself, John Roca of Collider Schmoes is SEN Network Entertainment, all that crap, is a Nazi to me. He is a terrible trash can of a human being. But if I saw somebody sending me a graphic with his head beheaded, as well as Grace Randolph and other people I don't like, that's not funny. Because you're showing, how are you any better? How would I be any better than John Roca for me gloating, liking, enjoying, even being okay with looking at art of his head under some character's body? That makes me no better than him wanting mass genocide on all the homeless population of Los Angeles. And this just goes to show you that this is definitely cult behavior. That's why I came up with Rejected Snyder Cult, and they took my merch down. They attacked my Teespring. They blocked it. Ye Fisher himself contacted Teespring to get my account disabled. It's real. The hate and the toxicity is real. But this is what I was talking about when I was saying that all very many months ago. They are a cult. They are violent. They are aggressive. I have gotten death threats. I have been my dead dog. If you're dead dog, this, your family, hope you die, and you're a Nazi and a terrorist. You're worse than a terrorist. These type of names that's being thrown my way because I don't like a director's DC movies. That's really, let that sink in for a second. All this hate because I speak out against Zack Snyder's trash DC universe. And to know that here we are in the future, and right when we were starting to get ourselves together with the announcement of Flashpoint to fix the narrative, AT&T, you idiots, you complete morons, went to a toxic cult and greenlit Snyder's movie from 5 years ago. And you gave all of that toxic fandom. Some of them were decent people who just wanted to see Snyder. I'm sorry, but you're all included. You gave them all power to come and do this to the fandom. And it's AT&T's fault. You gave the mouse a cookie. They want their glass of milk. Now it's to the point where even Snyder cultists are not even trying to be DC fans no more because of Ye Fisher. Who is Ye Fisher? He ain't nothing. So all of this drama, all of this madness comes from one thing. There's one silent source. It's Zack Snyder. I rest all of this at his feet. And you know why I blame Zack Snyder? Is I wouldn't have blamed Zack Snyder if it a couple of months ago. But with all these articles and all these lies that Ye was doing, causing a lot of damage towards Snyder and putting that at his feet, all this drama, to know that Snyder was going on these trash, whack YouTube channels and giving interviews to them lets me know he's listening to the filth. Mm-hmm. He knows of the filth and he's not saying nothing about it. And because of that, Zach, you ain't shit. Well, Break you too, bro. I can't wait for you to get up out of here, bro.
Well, I don't have a problem with Zach, but I do have a problem. No, I respect your feeling on it, but you know that's where he real here. I like that we can challenge each other and talk about it. Yeah. I don't have a problem with him, but I agree. I think people give him credit to say, yeah, he's not involved. No, he's paying attention. He's still bitter about what happened. And I'm not saying it's not justified because I do believe Warner Brothers completely railroaded him, steamrolled him, took advantage of a tragedy, completely ruined his movie. Like I get where he's coming from the anger, but to deny that Zack Snyder's not pettily enjoying watching Warner Brothers burn through Ray and other things would be ridiculous. That's clearly what he's doing. So I sort of stand, but at the same, and I agree though. It's funny you bring up him appearing on the channels because I went on a channel last night with some haters, and even they were admitting that the infighting within the own Snyder fan base, not just the cult, but the fan bases, they're all sort of getting at each other's throats because it's like, who are the gatekeepers and why can't I get Zach and why I've been loving you, where's my? It's just sort of, it's interesting to watch it all sort of. They're starting to peck at each other, but I do want to before I move on. The reason I brought up this Lightcast is just he is the epitome of the hypocrisy because he made shit up about us. He was on a stream where I did lose my cool because he was goading and lying and trying to spread information.
He get on and
then he exploited that for his own game to see everybody, and you all hate Andy. Well, look what I did to Andy. Talk about hate. That's all he did. But I want to share all this because it's like here he is, and I don't follow this guy. This is thanks to all my fan researchers who do stir up the drama and want me to just to be informed. So I appreciate the person who sent me this, who has like kept receipts. But here is like telling, I see a lot of hate and negative comments reiterating from Andy Signor's poor rhetoric. Look, there are facts if you disagree and have a civil discourse, but I will block remove you from this channel. There is free speech, but there's no one telling you to come here with that hate, that negativity. Do it on your own channel. And then look what he puts out there. Pretty funny. Pretty funny, huh, Jody? It's pretty funny how he does this. This is funny to him. Ha ha! It's funny. Look, it's extreme, but this isn't something we should endorse. We can't endorse this because someone is going to storm Warner Brothers at a certain point because there's some crazy people in that fandom. And if we keep fanning those flames, something bad's going to happen. But anyway, here's him. It was good art. It had good analogy. Give credit where it's due. They used an image of Zach. Stop trying to be all SJW off of this. You are fishing for attacks to make a point. You have no point. It's simple. It's funny. Grow up. I'm sorry, Lightcast. I want to really address it publicly because I know you blocked me and you can't engage me, but I'm sure you're watching now and you'll probably make 10 videos about this. I don't find it funny. Sure, you could say a lot of things are funny. Everyone has a right to do it, but I think what you've just done is you fan the flames and you've made your own fan base realize, oh yeah, no, this is gross. And the reason I bring all this up is because it is gross to me. This isn't okay to show decapitations of actual executives while an HR battle is happening in front of us that a celebrity has decided to make public without giving us information, so we can't actually. So just dividing us and stringing along something that he could easily end by dropping facts, right, Jody? No, he's got to stretch out an HR thing that should be in private, but for his own gain. But the reality is like. I see that there's people actually starting to hate on this. They don't like this. And so the reason I went on a hater stream last night, because I was tagged by some fake account who was being me, and I listened, because I do try to listen here and there when I catch it, and they were having a rational conversation about how this wasn't okay. And so when I saw one of my own haters acknowledging that this was wrong and that we have to stand up to defame it, to see that this person of all the people out there had the good for him. I had to go on and say, you know what? Good for you for me crossing that divide and finally at least acknowledging, yes, it's going too far. We have to address it. So I wanted to give credit where it's due, and that's why I showed up last night and did that. And I want to just point out, like, yeah,
How did that go? You went into a live stream while it was live because you said somebody was pretending to be you.
Yeah, there was some. It happens now. You got to be careful. I don't know why YouTube doesn't adjust that. But if you see someone in the chat, you can fake it, and so it looks like someone's there, unless you unless you're subscribed to them or give them mod status, etc. You won't know. So someone was just saying nonsense in there, and whoever you are, come on, dude, that's not cool. Let me say my own things. So I wanted to go and discredit. So the person invited me to the stream, and I said, what? Because I didn't even know what was going on. That's what triggered me to look to see, someone's talking shit, and he thought I was there. So I corrected it through DM to say that's not me, but I've been listening. If you want me to come on, he had a couple other haters on, and I was like, I don't want to engage with them because I don't want to fight. But to his credit, he removed them. He was respectful about it, and we had a civil conversation with a couple other people who have hated on me. And it was just interesting because as I was there, look, we're not going to agree on everything, and I'm not here to bash them all. And that wasn't the point of the stream. I just wanted to point out, like, it was encouraging to see that even the audience in that chat, while there were still tons of haters wishing me death, there were a lot of people who were like, you know what? There are some interesting points here. And I think that's what's so important. I don't want this to be about me hating and I'm not against Zack Snyder. I'm frustrated with Zack Snyder. I'm very frustrated with Ray Fisher. I don't like what he did. I don't like what he did to you. It's personal for us. But at the end of the day, it's like, I wish we could all solve this civilly. I wish Ray, if he's telling the truth, drop your damn evidence. Like, enough is enough. It's embarrassing at this point.
Andy, we're past that.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what it's all about. It's like, so it was helpful to see certain fans at least finally acknowledging this, to see that there are cracks in this fandom, to see like, yeah, maybe we should have called that out and not empowered them as long as we did. Because Jody, that's what I think's happened here, right? It's not just even giving the mouse a cookie. It's like they have been emboldened because of release of Snyder Cut. And I want to be clear. I've said it, but I say it every time. I know some good there. I've had messages from true Snyder fans who are like, look, I like Snyder, but I hear what you're saying. Don't judge us all, you know. And the cult isn't the cult is that minority of people who are psychopaths. And that's the clear place here. But I mean, Zack, at a certain point, I think he's going to have buyer's remorse in not in sort of empowering this army. Because I think, it wasn't just Ray. Ray's a whole side issue, which we've done to death, and I don't even want to keep hammering that. But even just release, restore the Snyderverse and demand this cut, and now we want this, and da-da-da-da. It's like, guys, you can't just get everything you want. And I think you called it, Jody Damas, but like the studio is now clearly regretting giving them the power that they did, because now they've made it a movie instead of a series. They've had to fire Ray. They clearly are just like, it's a cul-de-sac. It's clear Warner Media is like, we're done, we're tapping out. Let's focus on the calendar of real, the real movies we have. And yeah, cool. Good luck, fans. We're excited for it. What are your thoughts on all that?
My thoughts are that AT&T, and you say the studio, and I know that you're talking about AT&T, Warner Media, the telecommunications company that came in, hijacked Warner Brothers. Just like I said, Jody Damas, that was 7 months ago. I'm out here. They hijacked Warner Brothers. And now them stupid company AT&T are starting to figure out, like, wait, I thought it was for the good. The fans, they had so many tweets. They were tweeting so much. I thought if we gave them what they wanted, it'll make us look good. And here's Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich looking at AT&T execs like, you guys are dumb. Why you think we put his stupid trash movie on a shelf in the vault somewhere for 5 years? Because we hated it. Sure, we made mistakes by, the death of his daughter and using that to fire him. That was also another Jody Damas, by the way.
And I want to back you up for a second, because I've been out there in the trenches trying to do it. A lot of people are trying to say you were laughing at the death of his daughter. It's like, no, you weren't. I've seen the sort of clips they try to exploit. You're like role playing a scenario where you mention it, of how they use that all the time to justify the toxicity. But I want to put it on record, and you can say it too, but I'm saying it for you. You have never laughed at any of that shit. You've always supported it, and you've always been there for it.
This is news to me. So they're saying I laughed at it?
Yeah, there's like a clip going around where haters are trying to like make it seem like, see, Jody laughed at the death of his daughter, and it offends me when I see it when they go that low because they just clip shit out of context.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking. I don't know nothing. I don't pay attention to these cult motherfuckers. My block finger is on fire. I see all that. So I don't even get the feeds no more. I feel like I've blocked 90% of the cult. So I don't even see what they be saying about. They're putting out you see that, ladies and gentlemen, live right here on Real Talk with Andy and Jody. I'm finding out that they're posting out a video of me. So what do they do? Take something out of context of me laughing and then saying it was on that video?
Yeah, I mean, we talk for hours. It's so easy because a lot of times we talk from the viewpoint of certain people, and that's I think what you were doing in that scenario. But I knew exactly like, no, that's not. You are totally trying to take. That's what they do. They try to take it out of context to justify the narrative.
Look what they did to our yin and yang. How many clips of yin and yang did they take out of context? How could they believe this? This is weird. We're playing roles to win a debate. It's the skill and the art and the showmanship. But if you don't watch the channels, you wouldn't know that. So they just look more like morons. Thank you for letting me know about that, though.
I love also Balthazar's like, who has the time to make a clip show about other YouTubers?
You're enamored with us. That's why, bro. You see this beard? You want this beard in your mouth?
We don't have time for that.
Things in your mouth, huh? They're just enamored with us, bro. They want to know what Andy thinks about somebody. They want to know what Jody thinks about somebody, bro. They're stalking and looking at my channels. They're looking at your channel. They're looking at mine. They're weeding, thumbs down in videos, looking at all the donations and getting salty. Like legitimate. Jody pays his subscribers the money before the streams to donate him back on the bruh. There's no way that he's getting that money. There's no people don't donate to him like that. He's paying. Those are his family members.
It's all bots. Yeah.
What is going?
Speaking of the bots, Stephen Boyd, thank you for the cash app.
Yeah, Stephen Boyd, shout out to my
you two are
Steven,
great.
I got that too.
I want to make sure I didn't miss and there was one chat I can't find it here, but I'll get to it in a second. But keep the support comment as you said that. Go ahead, but continue.
Yeah,
Jody.
so there's a whole lot of all of this stuff is just more and more reason why, Your Honor, Your Honor, jury, the Colts. These are more examples, and like I said about AT&T realizing after Hamada, I feel like Hamada was in all of these promotions. This Walter Hamada promotion, the keeping of Jeff Johns, the way Joss Whedon kind of quit on his own accord. I know you want to claim that, Ye, but obviously that's not true since we see what happened with Hamada and with Toby Emmerich. The raising of that is AT&T realizing that they effed up, and they're finally, it looks like in this instance, they're letting Warner Brothers do their job because they seen how toxic this cult is. Because Jim Lee went on camera and said that the fandom is divided. Who do you think he was talking about? Me? Regular DC fans that just want to see new Superman and Wonder Woman and Shazam and Aquaman? No. Jim Lee was talking about you cultists because you guys live in a past of a dark universe where Batman's a murderer and Superman is an emo bot that doesn't even care about people. That's what he was talking about. And all of these things went at the table of AT&T, right at their feet. Like Hamada, Jeff Johns, and Toby Emmerich are like, you see AT&T, look what you started. Now you see the toxic fandom that you fueled. And AT&T's like, oh, okay, all right, my bad. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll let you guys handle this situation. And that's when stuff started to change. And Warner Brothers was like, okay, cool. Now that we're the captain again, yay, you fired. Yo, this Snyderverse movie is a cul-de-sac. This thing ain't tying into nothing in the future. Hey, yo, Zach. Hey, yo, Jason Momoa, remember what you said about this shit needs to stop? Hey, listen, you need to stop before we find a traditional blonde hair, blue-eyed Aquaman. You okay? All right, for sure. Bye. Yo, Zach. Hey, Warner Brothers. No. Not Warner Media. No. Don't talk. No, Jason. No, Jason's gonna save you. He gave me full power. Listen, Zach, after we release your trash movie, dog, you're out. That's what's happening. And they realize it's happening to the point, and this is another Jody Damas. I told you guys, these people, Snyder cult, are not DC fans. They're Snyder fans. When Snyder goes, they will go. They don't care about DC. They don't care about Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Shazam and all that. They care about dark, gloomy, artistic Zack Snyder direction. So when he leaves, hopefully they will leave too. And like I said years ago, we DC fans can finally move on.
Yeah, I don't think they will, though, sadly. I think they're going to constantly complain every DC movie that comes out, this audience. But that's why I feel like we need to continue to block and not support them. I mean, it is what it is. They'll still be in their own little hive trying to do it. But it's nice to see some fans trying to finally start to acknowledge it. Because, look, what can you do? Every fandom does have the toxic group. Star Wars has them for sure. They're in Marvel. I understand, but... you see it interestingly because it's like Zack has created this sort of dark, moody vibe that some normal people handled, but other people are like, yes, I'm gonna murder everybody just like that, and it sucks because it's the exact reason we don't like the version of what Zack did, because there's no hope. It all feels so dark and disturbing. And so of course that underbelly sort of gravitates to it, because not everyone can be like a normal film lover who understands and separates. But it's frustrating. I want to thank Paul. Thanks, Paul. Let's get out. Andy, Jody, thanks for real. Have a great stream. Paul. And then JC Takada, Andy, Jody, thoughts on what Ben Affleck said about Kevin Feige? Also, how long before the Snyder Cult attacks Ben for praising Feige Marvel? I actually didn't see that yet. Have you seen that clip? I'm gonna look it up.
Yes, I did. I wanted to make a video about it. I still will make one, but we could talk about it for sure. This guy, Ben Affleck, says, if there's one mother effing person in the world that if you tell me he knows what the fans want that could produce a film, it's Kevin Feige. He knows what the fans want. He was basically saying, Zack.
All right, this is good. Let's pivot that in a second. Let me finish. I want to finish this first cut. Let's go, but I have it queued up. We'll do that next. So stay tuned because I want to clip that because it is a good. So thank you for bringing that up, JC. We'll get there. But what's interesting, so on the state of where we're at with DC. I mean, it's like I also want to talk about the boycott. Because I did a whole video on it too.
Yeah.
But
what is the boycott?
So do I have the audio here? Who are out there. So I'm playing audio. I don't want to give this guy any attention, but I want to show the hate of this attention because here's what they're being told now what to do. Here's what the
only way right now for you to actually hurt Warner Brothers, and I mean this, if you are mad about this situation with Ray Fisher being removed as Cyborg, you have to cancel your HBO Max subscription. You cannot wait until after the Snyder Cut. You cannot wait until after something you want is available for you to watch and then leave, because that's not accountability over entertainment. If you firmly and fervently believe in the concept of A over E, what Ray Fisher's putting out there, if you tweet it, if you retweet it, if you're very vocal about it, at this point the only way for you to bring any bit of pain to them, to show them as a consumer that you will vote with your wallet, you have to cancel your HBO Max subscription today.
Now, I want to talk about it a bit more because I've seen that person who I'm not going to name because I don't want to ever support that person because I don't like the person. And I'm not even I'm actually trying not to call out that person. But what's frustrating me is like, they're out there trying to say, well, no, I wasn't trying to say I want to do that. I'm just telling them what to do. But that's the problem. You're fueling this angry fan base of the cult to get guys. This is what you should do. You know, if you really want to get them, do this. You're instigating. You're pushing the buttons as I'm a good person out here. But no, you're like, see if you really want to get to them. See, you're not really supporting Ray because this is this. And the reality is like, it's working. There are idiots out there, Jody. I showed you some of the tweets. I don't want to keep doing it again, but like there are people out there who are now boycotting HBO Max because of what's going on. The very platform that gave it all life. Now they're like, you know what? Let's change our mind. Let's boycott it. We can't do it. The irony and stupidity of
life at war with Snyder. Release the Snyder Cut.
It seems that way. Yes, there seems to be now. Look, when I went on that stream last night, I tried to get more, and there were some people that were like, "Well, no, I don't support that." Like it's dividing the fandom now because there's idiots in this fandom who are now trying to block it, and it's like. And then that same guy, I'm told, is now encouraging people to pirate the Snyder Cut and do other ways to do it. So it's like how effed up is that? That is like the complete opposite of supporting Zack Snyder, who should have nothing to do with what they did. But because we're fanning the flames, and Ray can't just like do this privately or drop. Again, I said it last night as succinctly as I could, like because I'm trying to like not just keep piling on Ray because I've done it plenty. But it's like the fact that Ray won't just wait until he can either tell us and then drop the information at this point. That's a problem with me. Because he is stretching out these fans, and they're making them now bully and cancel people without any evidence. And so that's a huge problem to me. But yes, now the Borg life, because of Ray's insistence that you must believe me, I was wronged, I was ABUSED'd. Like, we don't know what. We just have to believe him because he's putting it on the line, Jody. So we must believe him. But the reality is, like, that action, Borg life, I stand with him. It's now causing people to say, well, I mean, there's a point there, like, right? If accountability is greater than entertainment, if you're going to start putting it out there, this idea to people, then yeah, you should come on, put your money where your mouth is. You can't support anything by DC or Warner Media now because they didn't give you what you want. How effed up is this?
Yeah, I saw you do a video on a guy, some Asian dude who is, I guess he's a cult member.
I don't know if he's in the cult. I don't know him, Chris. But this guy, and I wasn't trying to hate on him, just so I'm clear. He put out a video, yes, that he's literally rebranding his whole channel because he doesn't feel comfortable supporting DC and Warner Brothers, given what he's been told in the Ray Fisher. Yeah,
you're not a DC fan then, because I get that he gave you life by being on your channel, and you feel no matter what happens with Patty leaving Warner Brothers and going to do Star Wars or Marvel, you think I'm gonna stop being a DC fan because Patty went to Marvel? You got me effed up. So that's BS. But absolutely, if you're changing your whole channel, I don't know how many subscribers do that, but if you got 2,000 subscribers and you're changing your whole channel, it's like, all right, that's a lot of people that are watching you for a certain specific content. For you to pivot and be like, you know what, I don't want to cover all of that. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to find something else to do. That's whack, bro, and that's radical.
He's got about 20,000 subscribers. So, and word advice, you're going to tank your channel by just completely doing that. But
exactly.
I feel bad. I don't know this guy. I'm not here to pile on him.
That's cult shit.
I was shocked to see that because it's interesting, because it's like, look, I'm trying to be objective here just to have an interesting conversation with you, because I've made it clear. Ray made it personal for me. That's why I've gone as heavy in that as I have. But it's like, all right, if you want to believe Ray, which some people want to do, right? That's their right, I guess. They haven't been following the evidence, the lack of evidence. If you're following Ray, what Ray's made people think is like, I can't support this studio. They are enabling and corrupt and doing all this stuff, right? And so if you're someone like Chris and you believe it, and you expect Ray to be a good person and tell you the truth, which, Jody, there are a lot of people who are in that standing, right? The reality is they are like, well, I can't in good conscience support this studio or the projects that they do. And that's the problem I have with Ray. It's like he's taken it so far. He wants such drastic, this kind of turnout. He's not out there telling Chris, no, don't do this, which he should, because he's got 20,000 subscribers. That's enough of a person to be fueling these fans. That Ray isn't out there telling Chris, no. The Flash, Rick, support the movie. There's other people involved. I don't want these movies. James Gunn's got a great movie come out. He has nothing to do with this.
Screw that.
The reality is, like,
you're a DC channel. You're supposed to be a DC
fan.
Right,
but think about the fact that Ray is selfishly letting all these other movies now tank because the fandom is following him and standing with him. When the reality is, like,
but that's not the fandom. That's not the fandom. People who follow Ye Fisher is not the fandom. Those are cultists, and they can go. My man's right here. Peace, because those are not DC fans. You do not up and leave because someone says I don't F with them. When you've been you can say you made your channel based off of DC content, or you're a lifelong DC. Can't nobody tell me what to support. If I love something, I love it. I will not leave it for any other reason but my own. Meaning, if I no longer love it because of something it itself is doing, I can understand that. But from something that someone else experienced, someone else had, because Ye Fisher don't like him, you're like, well, yo, if you ain't doing it, I'm going to change my whole channel, Ye. That's whack, bro. That doesn't show, and beyond that, it doesn't show integrity. It doesn't show that you stand behind your own ideal. You're so willing to maneuver and bend people ain't gonna respect you for doing something like that. That's why.
Well, but again, I don't want to keep hounding on it because I don't know the guy. I don't know his intentions, but it seems like he's doing it for his integrity and that he thinks these people have done wrong. I can't support these people. And Jody, the reality is there are a lot of people.
There's no evidence though.
But it doesn't matter. It's believe all people. That's the world we live in.
Yeah,
it is a thing there that it's like certain people just accept it.
I can understand if there was evidence of like on video you see Ye Fisher getting abused by Joss Whedon.
Amber Heard.
All right,
I understand
standing up for some.
The evidence of Amber Heard to prove. Yeah, that's why I don't support Amber and I support Johnny because it's on tape. Exactly. Yeah, it's like that until it's that level. I don't understand why people are so viciously like I must support. That's my whole take on it. And then last night I got to a little bit of a disagreement because they're like, yeah, but why do you mock Ray so much? Why don't you give him the benefit of the doubt? Exactly. He made it personal. He slandered us. We've caught him in lies. I have sources that have told me what he was a diva and everything else. He's made this a show. It's not just like telling the truth. And that's why. But anyway, yeah, this guy, the fact that the whole fandom is splintering is just shocking to me, but it just proves the old adage of karma always gets everybody. The toxic fans are starting to get theirs. They're not going to get the movies and things they thought they would because they got too aggressive. And I think if fans had really united and like been clear, sure, they did the great stuff for the suicide prevention. I applaud that. Good job. But that didn't discount all the negative. You still have to address and make sure you don't endorse it.
They weaponize that. I don't even want to hear that shit either. They weaponize that to try to throw in the face. Look, it's for this reason.
Well, a lot of cultists did. I agree.
They weaponized the freak out of
I think there were good people that did it just to do good and then sort of ignored it and said, I don't want to get involved. But the reality was, you're right. Zach, Ray, others have shown up on channels where there's a lot of people who have encouraged and fanned those flames because they didn't do a good enough job of weeding out the toxic ones from the normal ones. And, look, people, I guess, freedom of speech, do what you want, but that's why Snyder Cut is a cul-de-sac right now. That's why Ray is gone. It's too much toxicity, too much drama.
Nobody wants y'all there.
Nobody wants it anymore. Exactly.
Guys, I need you guys to understand. Snyder Cut fans, Snyder Cult members, Warner Brothers, DC, and even now AT&T, because they're letting it happen. They don't want you part of the fandom. It's clear. And that fan shirt that they did in the Harley Quinn show, they were absolutely mocking you guys. Warner Brothers was mocking the Snyder Cult, but AT&T came and usurped them and made that announcement. It was so blindsiding and dumb that it's so obvious that they were mocking y'all because they severely dislike you guys and they don't want you here. Jim Lee spoke on it, but that's the thing. People, the common sense doesn't work when you have a cult mentality. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like literally being brainwashed. You don't see anything else but what the person is telling you. It's weird.
Which is why I was excited to see some cultists start to finally see the facts is encouraging, and I hope this.
It's shocking, yeah.
I hope this happen. I want to encourage more of that because that's always what the goal was when we started Reject the Snyder Cult. It was like, hey, let's stand up to this bullying, toxic fandom, and instead they tried to spin us as the bullies who were trying to, knock all fans, which we never did. So it's frustrating. David March, thank you. You want to pardon Wesley Snipes? Good call. We'll talk about that later. And then Jarva, they saying they're gonna cut HBO Max and boycott DC. I'm like, good, stay out and don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Thank you for the comment, support, and then Tony Campy did a segment on the Ben Affleck complimenting Feige. We are going to do that next, so stay tuned. But thank you for saying that.
One more thing I want to say.
Yeah, go for it. As we wrap up this first part, go Jody.
Here's something I want you guys to understand. This was all about one person in the beginning. Who was that one person, Andy, that Ye was after?
Joss Whedon.
It was Joss Whedon for months. Joss. Then what happened? The accuser went to Berg, Hamada. Oh no, Berg. Then he went to
Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns. Then he went from Jeff Johns. He went to
Toby Emmerich. Toby Emmerich was mentioned at a certain point.
Toby Emmerich. He went to Toby Emmerich. It's Toby. Then he went to Hamada. Bro. If you have been abused by somebody,
Toby Emmerich was called out, and then he's sort of stopped on Toby. It's funny.
Toby wasn't playing. Yeah. Toby wasn't playing. He made that call to the people. We had your boy on. Remember, it was me, you, and him. He was talking about, I don't know what happened, bro. Toby Emmerich happened. He made a call to that publisher and said, "Yo, I'm gonna shut y'all down." Toby ain't with that BS. But if you were abused or hurt, let's use the word, if you were sexually touched by somebody and you want justice, will you switch people? You're the one that touched me. I'm not going to go. I don't have a problem with you. I don't care if you hired her. I want you. He never should have took his focus off of Joss Whedon. Why did he stop talking about Joss Whedon? He went to all the other people because he has an agenda to get rid of everybody who is above Snyder, to clean them out, to bring in a new era. This fool's crazy. And y'all are blind if y'all don't see that. If you touch me in an inappropriate way, I want your head in prison. You belong in prison. I'm not going to try to go to your family members or your boss or the regional or the district manager. You're the one that touched me. So I want justice on you. It happens all the time. I remember seeing an episode of First 48. There was, real quick, episode of First 48. A guy came to Craigslist to sell a car. A guy set up the Craigslist to meet him at a Whataburger. A dude paid a hitman to go and jack him. The dude who jacked him shot them and killed them. But the family of the victim said, I don't want the person who shot and killed my brother. I want the one who set it up from the beginning. And they got him. He got more prison time than the actual shooter. That's how it works when you're actually abused, when you're actually done wrong. You want the one who did it all and where it started. Why did Ye switch up? I'll tell you why. Because he's full of shit and he lied on me. And if he'll lie on me, you goddamn straight he'll lie on anybody else, especially somebody that could write his checks.
He didn't just lie on you. He was a hypocrite because he was out there tweeting, ignore the haters, don't engage. And then first chance he got, he sent out petty dude is focusing on his own stuff, and then did petty retweets of toxic people to call us out because he clearly was paying attention to us questioning him. That's where it all went south. So it showed his true colors, was the reality. He was a hypocrite. Yeah. But as we wrap up this portion, we have lots more to do. But I just got this tip to me as I was on air. But look at this. Zack Snyder has basically unfollowed everyone. The only person he's following is the Snyder Cut on HBO. And this has been confirmed that what happened, why is he on a unfollowing spree? Why would he do this? Apparently he was following a lot of cult members, and now he's cleaned it all up and it's not following a single one of them. Now, again, we're looking into this. I don't know what.
Nah, you out of there, bro. I put this at your feet, homie. Freak Zack Snyder.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's got some damage control to do. At the end of the day,
Zack Snyder, bro.
I think he ended up getting a massive win, and I think his true fans ignored the craziness that was really happening behind the scenes and online, and just thought, yeah, we're an army. We're gonna shut all this down. Us united. All the stuff that they were doing, and the reality was they were splintering what the goodwill they earned, and it's frustrating because Warner Brothers never wanted to do anything with him. That was clear from day one. Everyone wants to hit me on that story, Jody. But facts were they didn't want anything to do with him or that cut. They thought it was garbage. Warner Media, AT&T, was desperate during the pandemic, everything else, to get content out of nowhere. All right, you know what? Fine. Someone was, they were talking to him. I think it was Toby talking to him. All right, fine. You know what? We're making this happen. There were execs at Warner who were like, you're doing what? I think a lot of them were like, "How are you sure you want to do this and give this crowd what happened?" It doesn't matter. We need the tweets right now.
I could see the board meeting happening and everybody, Joss and Hamada, they're all looking at each other. Jim Lee like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Say something. Jason, is it wise to like you said? Yeah, we need to put it out. You see all those hashtags? Release Snyder Cuts everywhere. It's trending, baby.
Yeah, I think they're having buyer's remorse now, and I think the reality is, while Zack, look, I applaud that Zack got his cut. The methods that he got there are clearly, I think there was a lot of hate in there, but still good that he got it. But they should have done a better job to make sure they spoke out against that fandom. But I don't think they wanted to. I think Zack did enjoy all the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. I think he enjoyed Warner and all the people who wronged him in flames. Again, that's speculation on my part, but that's like
exactly what it is.
I think that's what he was, and I think at the end of the day,
like I said, I have sources at Warner Brothers back in 2018 that I've talked to, who personally are extremely close to Zack Snyder, like family, who have told me to my face he wants revenge on Joss Whedon and the producers. I know it for a fact. So
right, and so that is they want blood, they want revenge. Ray is a soldier for Zack. I firmly believe it through my sources as well. And just stepping back rationally, because I'm not that diehard of a fan. I can look at this rationally, and that's why we've been vocal on this. So look, I hope more fans open up and their eyes and realize, come to us, come to say, you know what, I get it. You guys were just calling out the real. Thank you for having the other side. It's starting to happen, so I appreciate all you guys that are doing it. And the cultists and other people out there who've been hating, you should call this out. This is worth calling out. This isn't funny. This isn't funny, like Cass and anybody else out there doing it. You are giving Zack Snyder and the film a terrible, horrific, sickening name. So enjoy the last 2 months before this movie comes out, and then you're irrelevant because that's what's going to happen, like Cass and everybody else like it. Go ahead, Jody. Final word.
I feel emboldened to finally let it out. I'm going to put a video out, and I'm going to give up my source that told me exactly what Zack's plan was. And I'm going to put that out later. You guys will see it when towards the end of when this stuff is phasing out. I'll put that video out and I will let you know the exact person who I talked directly to who told me these things. And it will be irrefutable. It will be legendary.
Look forward to that. Make sure you subscribe to Jody's Corner. Make sure you subscribe here to Popcorn Planet. If you're watching live, we're not going anywhere. We are not done. Let's talk about Ben Affleck and Kevin Feige. What? Lots more coming. This has been Real Talk.
Real Talk.
We're not going anywhere live, viewers. I'm just putting this here because we're going to clip it. If you missed us live, you can watch the whole stream in the members only tab. So join, become a member today. It's right next to the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everybody.